Alright, what's up everybody? In this video we're checking out the new buffed and reworked units from Anime Last Stand, the Johnny Godly update. We have reworked to Illumi, Killua, Frollo, and Wukong. Godly Wukong, finally got a rework here. So let me get the attack animation on real quick, because I never actually showcased Illumi and Killua before, because I kind of skipped showcasing for the Hunter x Hunter update. But for this guy, they apparently made his AoE bigger. We'll check that out. Thank you to my clanmate Gorilla or Doggo for showcasing this guy. So Glitched and Midas on him here. I'm assuming triple S everything and looks like the crit skill tree. So right now he's a circle AoE with not the worst damage ever for a 720 placement cost. He does have passive here, Transfiguration upon activation, disable Control Freak passive. That's an ability right there. And also changes his stats a little bit. Needle Paranoia. Each attack 2% chance to implant a needle on an enemy. When an enemy is implanted with a needle, 100% debuffing stats effect duration, attacks apply fear, and the needle breaks after 30 seconds, dealing double his damage and applying hemorrhage. Needle has a 60-second cooldown per enemy. Control Freak. Once a boss enters map, every 30 seconds implants a needle on a random unit in range. Upon implanting a needle on a unit, implanted unit loses 10% damage and gains a 40% chance to self-stun for 2 seconds every attack. So it's going to randomly nerf a unit in his range whenever a boss shows up. Okay, and then he has like, if he has a unit that has a needle on it, do a certain amount of damage, he gains a buff, I think. Let's check him out here. So upgrade at 6 out of 7. He's getting the human needle attack, and yeah, his AoE is much bigger now. He used to be like the size of maybe 3 or 4 or 5 enemies at max upgrade, but now look at that. It's a nice AoE, nice circle. I mean, I don't think they changed any of his numbers here, his stats or anything, or his passives, but the AoE size is going to help him out a little bit. He's doing 265 over 1.2, of course with Midas here, so he's just kind of cheaper. I mean, he's not bad, but he's still not that great. His AoE being changed does help him, but let's just move on. Next up we have Godspeed, Killua. Thank you to my clanmate Liability for showcasing this one. We have him with Glitch and Glorious here. He has a placement cost of 700, and he is going to have the maxed out crit skill tree, I think, and triple S everything. So, passive here, Capacitance. Apparently he just got buffed. They didn't really say what they did to Killua, but they said they made him stronger. So Killuas have a 25% chance to apply Bolt, that's the same. It used to be that before. Each time he applies Bolt, he gains 1 static here. I don't think he had charge before though. He can buff based on the following stack thresholds. He's going to buff himself depending on the static he gains from applying Bolt. Once he reaches 150, he gains Bolt effect for the next 60 seconds. Once 60 seconds, he loses static. Okay. So he can permanently gain Bolt after applying it enough. Chain Lightning. Every time this unit attacks an enemy affected by Electrified, apply this effect to enemies in range. Just kind of, if he has Electrified on something, he chains it to the other ones. Charge. Every 10 seconds Killua does not attack, gain 1 charge stack, cap of 10. On attack, consume all charge stacks, dealing 15% current damage stacks and 50% current damage time stacks consumed to all enemies in range. Okay, so, or all enemies in AoE, not range. Then Lightning Affinity. This unit's Electrified deals 2 times damage instead of 1.2. So, I don't really know what they changed about him. I mean, the charge meter is new, maybe? I think they gave him charge. And if he doesn't attack, he's going to gain extra damage, it looks like. So, I mean, it's kind of going to be hard to get like stacks of that because he attacks so quickly, but upgrade 4, he gains Lightning Strikes. He is still a cone AoE, doing 73.8 every 1.01. Godspeed Flash here, upgrade 7, and then upgrade 8, he's going to gain Godspeed Whirlwind. He's a cone AoE the entire time. He's doing 321 mil every 1 second actually. So 320 million DPS before crit and before Electrified, actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, he's actually, if you roll Bolt every 4 attacks or whatever, I mean, he's not bad. By the way, in lobby says 0.53 SBA, so it might be even faster than it shows in-game, because in-game, I think it's capped at showing 1, but apparently it's 0.53, which is really quick. He's actually doing a lot of damage. I want to use ability. By the way, if you were wondering, with Illumi, is the DPS in the ability mode. Bleed's doing, doesn't show us a number, but there's that. Killua with the ability here. Is he now a circle AoE? Did he become that before, or just kind of bugged maybe? I don't know. Ability? Yeah, here we go. And I don't know if that had an animation, I don't think it did, but should have mini nuke. I mean, his damage is not that bad. Loses SPA now, and it doesn't really show because yeah, caps at 1%, or 1 second I mean. But I mean, his DPS is really good. I think they buffed him. I think he's stronger now. I mean, it's not bad. It's pretty alright. I don't know. I still wouldn't say this guy's that great, but the buff definitely helped him, and the charge bar is pretty cool. Moving on to Frollo, Phantom boss here. This guy was the Abyssal Trial unit. I have a whole video on him before the buff. Right now he's a blind AoE. Apparently all they changed was his ability condition, so Fish Zone looks the exact same, I think. I'm pretty sure this is the same passive. Bandit Secret. For every 50 enemies killed using the Light and Dark ability, gain 1 bookmark. Upon killing a boss, 10% chance to gain 1 bookmark. For every bookmark attained, gain damage and range. Okay. So all they did to this guy was, let's check out the skill thief right here. Same requirements and everything. Okay. So they made his Bandit Secret passive easier to actually get a bookmark, because it used to be like a 0.something% chance during his Fish Zone. Now it's just you kill anything using his ability, the Light and Dark nuke here, which should be easier to do overall, because it's on a 50-second cooldown only. Okay, so not much to talk about with Corolla. I think his numbers are the exact same. All they did was make him get his bookmarks easier. So, okay. Now we can finally check out the Godly Wukong. Another little thing, I kind of forgot to record like a separate showcase part for this, so I'm gonna throw it in the middle of the video. But Sunwoo rework, kind of. He got like a little buff. He can now be auto abilitied for a system. So if I throw it on auto here, we check right now I'm close to rebirthing. I pretty much can if I just press it right there. So if I turn him on auto, he is going to rebirth himself. Look at that. So he's using the system. What's he actually doing in the system if I can check? Like, what has he done right now? Okay, he doesn't put points in anything, but he does actually rebirth. So, I don't know, you can easily rank him up now. He can be used for auto, AFK farming. Which means the meta might be Sunwoo lead with Wukong after the rework. And we're about to check out Wukong right now. Finally, we have the Godly Wukong here. So 1k placement cost, he is a circle AoE. Wukong Omnipotent King. If you're wondering why mine might look different than yours, I do have a skin on him from, I think it was the anniversary event, or winter, or something like that. But, triple S everything, crit skill tree, glitch warrior, same thing as Corolla here, with his own godly lead of team ability damage. Oh, I can't read that, okay. Reaching Nirvana. For each clone fused into Wukong, gain 1 stack of Reaching Nirvana. Once 2 stacks have been reached, unlock Maitreya. Once 4 stacks have been reached, unlock Nirvana. So he's going to use a clone into himself and gain passives here. So Maitreya, this is 1 passive he can unlock after 2 stacks here. So once Reaching Nirvana bar has reached 2, gain this passive. On gaining this passive, lose buffs from the clone to fusion, gain 30% range, unlock creation passive, unlock karma passive. Clone spawned in now have Sage clone passive, set damage stat to 15 million, and range to 50. Okay. Right now he's doing cripple, he is a circle AoE hybrid doing 3.21 over 3.33. We upgrade him here. Not sure what the clone fusing thing is, it looks like it might be upgrade 8, so maxed out. But he is very cheap to get there, so coilless foot, upgrade 5. He's now still a circle AoE, doing hemorrhage, 242 mil. Over 3 seconds, so his SPA is actually really good for that. He's doing 173 over 3.88 right now. Keep going, Kento on maximum, upgrade 8, max upgrade. Final attack here, giant circle AoE. So I'm trying to keep my voice. Clone synthesis, spawn a clone which starts at upgrade is 0. Clone has 20% of Wukong's damage, applies to all upgrades, 25% of his range, and SPA is identical to his SPA. Once this clone has been maxed, gain the clone diffusion ability. So if I spawn a clone here, spawned one in, yep, with the default model. Let's check out the no passives, we just have the damage and range here. And pretty cheap except for the final few upgrades here. We attack coilless foot, still circle AoE I think. No, full AoE, the clones are full AoE. Okay, so it's just visually bugged, I have to click on it again to see the full AoE. Kento on maximum upgrade 8 here. Looks like the same attack patterns as Wukong actually. And clone diffusion. Fuse clone into Wukong, deleting this clone permanently, increase Reaching Nirvana bar by 1. Wukong's gonna gain 10% damage. We check Wukong here, 343 mil. We use the clone diffusion. Clone goes away, he gains 10% damage, and 1 out of 4 on Reaching Nirvana. I'm gonna do that again real quick, he should get another ability. We're gonna put the clone spawning on auto. But right now he's gonna gain the passive Maitreya, along with Creation and Karma. So we saw Maitreya before. Now we have Creation. When an ability is used in this unit's range, create one of the 3 things at random. Clone. Spawn clone 30% of current damage, identical SPA, range, random effect, for 60 seconds. Buff Wukong and his current clones. Wait. 20% damage and range for 60 seconds. And protection, grant all units in range stun immunity from 1 stun for 30 seconds. So the protection, not that good. The other 2 are actually pretty nice. So if we use like Idol ability for example, random things should happen. Looks like he maybe stun protected someone? I don't know. Maybe he made a clone. I can't really tell. Wasn't even paying attention. But he's got a bunch of clones now. We'll see how many you can actually hold on him. Right now, he has the passive also Karma. Once an enemy enters Wukong's range for the first time, inflict fear, and take away their speed by 15%, for 10 seconds. 5% more damage taken from Wukong and his clones every 5 seconds, enemies in range with a 15% increased cap. So if they're in his range for a while, he can do extra damage. If enemy enters 10% of his range, inflicts stun. Okay. By the way, this guy was like 300k, just over 300k to max out, so not that bad at all. Okay, Nirvana. Once reaching Nirvana bar, has reached its max of 4, so we're halfway there right now. Destroy all clone spawn, gain Omnipotent King passive, gain Monkey Sage clones passive, Creation EX passive, and Karma EX passive. Set his damage stat to 17.5 million and range 270. Okay. We're going to fuse a couple clones into him. Right now we have 5 extra ones right here. So there's one going into him, and another one. And now he should gain, there we go, 4 out of 4, reaching Nirvana. So we have a reality ability, Omnipotent King Nirvana. He is now immune to enemy debuffs for every nature element unit in loadout. Wow, okay. Lots to read here. But okay, for every nature element, he's going to gain damage and range. Once an enemy enters the range, they're going to nerf their speed, take more damage from him and his clones, inflict fear and pressure. For 20 seconds, apply a random effect off 20% current damage. Okay, so you can do like burn, bleed maybe. When a time stop ability is activated, he's going to extend the duration. He's going to apply accelerate, and reduce SBR for all of his clones spawned in, and inflict stun to all enemies in range once the time stop ends. If enemies below 50% HP and has been attacked by Wukong 5 times, he's going to inflict a restrict on them. He's going to disable their functions in totality. Deal 10% damage to an enemy per status effect inflicted on it, stackable up to 50%. Okay. So a bunch of applying dots and doing extra damage with dots actually, so he's kind of buffing himself there, and his clones. Monkey Sage clones Nirvana. Every 5 attacks he spawns a clone with a cap of 5, so we have 5 clones right here. Clone has 20% of his current damage. Let's check that out real quick. Might be right, can't really tell. Clone has 20% of his current damage, a random effect of the following: poison, hemorrhage, bolt, and stun, and crippled. Okay. Identical SPA and range, clones of Sage clones EX passive. Current effects of Wukong's clones determine the buff he receives. A bolt, he gains. Okay. So he's going to give them a random dot, and whatever dot they have is going to buff Wukong actually, with all this stuff here. So SP reduction for bolt, hemorrhage for dot damage if he has hemorrhage, stun duration if he has stun, and extra damage dealt in range every second if they have poison, and then extra damage and damage from Omnipotent King if they have crippled. Okay, there's a lot to read, but he's just spawning in a bunch of clones, giving them random dots, and they're all going to have like random buffs with that. Creation, EX, Nirvana. When an ability is used in his range, create one of the 3 things. Clone, spawn clone, current damage. Okay, it seems like the same things as before, but like slightly better maybe. So a little bit of a better buff and a little bit of a better clone, I think, overall. Karma EX. Again, same thing as before, same thing as Karma, but it looks like a better movement speed reduction and more damage increase. So there's better versions of the passives from the first one. The Maitreya or whatever it was, I forget the name, but you know, the 2 out of 4 bar. Now the reality ability, right now he's already doing 1.14 or 4.44. If we max out the clones, this one has Bolt doing 70 mil, this one has Hemorrhage doing 70 mil. They're all doing 70 mil, there's another Hemorrhage, there's a stun. There's another stun, actually really good. If you max them all out, they are like a total cost of, I want to say like 150k max. So if you max out him, he's 300k. These guys are like half of that. But the ability, okay. Choose one of 3 options: time, destruction, life. If time is chosen, time stop all enemies on the map for 25 seconds. During this time stop, Wukong and his clones deal double damage. If life is chosen, drain 50% current HP from enemies on the map, 40% enemy speed for 60 seconds. Inflict negation and despair. If destruction is chosen, deal 1 trillion damage to the map for the next 240 seconds. Every 60 seconds, deal 200 billion damage and apply one of the following effects: sunburn, rupture, blizzard, and poison. So, time is chosen, it's a time stop. Life is chosen, it's an HP drain. Kind of like a mini nuke and a nerf to enemies, a debuff thing. And destruction is a huge nuke, which is going to apply an effect off of that. So he's actually really good. Maxing him out for 300k, you can do a pretty nasty nuke there if you actually go with like maxing out clones and everything. Not bad. If we use it right here, make sure I have the animations on. Double check that, there we go. Wait, I do have them on. Okay. Reality. We have time, life, and destruction. So we read what all of them do. Cooldowns here, 4 seconds on destruction, 70 seconds on life, 240 on time. I wonder if it's a global thing. I'm going to use destruction. No animation there. But it is a global thing. So the ability in general, reality, has a global cooldown of 2000. You can't use all 3, you can only use 1, and it goes on cooldown for a long time. Pretty good overall. I'd say he's actually really strong. Is he like top of the meta? I mean, I would say he's probably like top 4 Godlies or something. I think he's really good now. And overall the buffs are very nice. I think Killua definitely needed it. Corolla definitely made it more viable in every game mode. And then Illumi made him a little bit more usable, even though he's still not that great in my opinion. Anyways, thank you to my showcasers, my clan mates at Liability and Doggo again. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I think these guys are pretty good. Anyways, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next one. Have a great day.